How NASA captured a piece of the solar system's past from an ancient asteroid. Infrared sensors on the ground detected the heat signature of the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft's sample return capsule when it slammed into the atmosphere at more than 45,000 km per hour, 27,650 miles per hour, at 8:42 a.m. Mountain Daylight Saving Time today. The 46 kilograms, 101 pounds, capsule was dropped off by its much larger OSIRIS-REx mothership as that spacecraft went whizzing briefly by Earth. The capsule hit the air off the coast of California, aiming for a parachute landing in the Department of Defense's Utah Test and Training Range southwest of Salt Lake City. Even before the capsule landed, 4 search helicopters scrambled to meet it, and the people at NASA waited anxiously to hear that it had returned safely. It had. The capsule thumped down at 8:55 a.m. Mountain Daylight Saving Time, and the helicopter crews scooped it up and whisked it to a clean room on the military base, preparing to send it off to the Johnson Space Center in Houston. The scientists there will have a lot to look at. Sealed inside the capsule are 250 gm, 8.8 ounces, of rock and dust from the asteroid Bennu, a 4.5 billion-year-old fossil of the ancient solar system that NASA has spent more than $800 million and 7 years working to explore. The return of the sample made OSIRIS-REx only the 3rd spacecraft, and the first American one, to pull off the asteroid spelunking trick, after Japan's Hayabusa and Hayabusa 2 managed it in 2010 and 2020 respectively. Understand the chemistry and history of Bennu's dust and you can understand the chemistry, history, and even origins of the solar system and the Earth, as well as the life that calls our planet home. It sort of speaks to the reasons people explore, says Rich Burns, the OSIRIS-REx project manager. We can learn about the evolution of the solar system, why the Earth exists in its present state, why it's special. We can get at the question of where we come from. Collecting that Bennu sample was not easy. It was on September 8, 2016, that OSIRIS-REx, short for Origins, Spectral Interpretation, Resource Identification, Security Regolith Explorer, lifted off from Cape Canaveral in a roundabout pursuit of Bennu. The asteroid is a small target, just 492 meters, 1,614 featuring across, and circles the Sun in more or less the same orbit as the Earth. At its most remote, it is about 300 million kilometers, 186 million miles, from us. The most direct way to reach it would be to cut across the solar system in an as-the-crow-flies pursuit, intercepting Bennu on the other side of the Sun. But that would have seen the spacecraft approaching the rock at a 90-degree angle, blazing past it at 19,300 kilometers per hour, 12,000 miles per hour. That's fine for the kind of brief, photographic flybys the Voyager spacecraft conducted of the outer planets in the 1970s and 1980s. The OSIRIS-REx mission, however, called for the spacecraft not just to fly past Bennu, but to enter a lazy orbit around it. To do that, the ship had to make 2 complete circuits around the Sun, slowly catching up to the asteroid and matching its speed and trajectory. During that time, OSIRIS-REx put more than 2 billion kilometers, 1.24 billion miles, on its odometer. On December 3, 2018, the spacecraft at last caught up with Bennu and fired its thrusters to enter orbit around the rock. It took barely a puff of propellant to do that, and it would take just as little to pull away. Bennu's gravity, to the extent that it has any at all, is 100,000 times less powerful than that of Earth. Settled into the asteroid's tenuous gravitational grip, the spacecraft began a remote surveying campaign, using its multiple onboard instruments, including 3 cameras, an infrared spectrometer, an X-ray imaging spectrometer, and a laser altimeter, to study Bennu's mineral and elemental makeup. It also exhaustively mapped the asteroid's surface, looking for a place to collect its sample. At some points, OSIRIS-REx flew at altitudes as low as 1.6 kilometers, 0.99 miles, above Bennu, the closest any spacecraft has ever gotten to any body it was orbiting.